Hi and welcome back to my channel, Books by Tiffany Vega. I'm Tiffany and today we're going to be talking about why I chose to be a indie author compared to going through the traditional publishing. And if you don't know much about the difference between being an indie author and a traditional published author, is the big difference is who manages your book. And that was what made me decide to be an indie author, is because I wanted full rights over my story. I wanted to decide what my cover looked like. I wanted to decide who edited my book. I wanted to decide if down the road somebody decides, hey, this would make an amazing movie, that I got to keep those rights. And when you are an indie author, you do keep those rights. And you get to decide what happens with your book. If you are traditionally published, yeah, you get the upfront fee. You don't have to worry about paying for your cover. You don't have to worry about who edits. You don't have to worry about marketing. All that stuff is taken care of by the publishing company, but you are selling that book to them. That is why you get that upfront money. And that's why they take care of anything, is because your story that you wrote, you give to them. Not saying that it's wrong to be traditionally published, because one day I want to be traditionally published. But starting out, I felt that I needed to brand myself the way that I wanted to brand myself. So when it comes to my cover, I want it to reflect like what I wanted to convey with this story. And with my second book I'm working on, which will be my series, is that I want that book to set the tone for who I am as an author. I have an image of my cover. I have the way that I want to market it already in my head, and I don't want to sell that to somebody. Not yet, at least. Like, maybe if I can get a name for myself eventually. And I don't think that somebody can pay me right now what I feel like my stories are worth. And that's a big thing. Like, I personally think my stories are priceless. They're mine. And you can't put a dollar bill on that. Not that as authors, we always dream about making a living off of being a writer. However, that is not necessarily what I'm trying to do. I have a full-time job. I'm a full-time student. I am going to school for psychology because that's what I want to do. So writing is like my passion, my hobby, and I'm not looking to get rich from it. What I'm trying to do is express some things that, like, my creative side. And I got so much passion as a kid from reading stories that I hope that I can pass that on to other people. Even today, I get excited when my favorite authors come out with a book, and like I want to sit there all day long for 2 days just reading the book and just getting that joy from it. I mean, some of my favorite authors, like Kim Harrison, I actually dressed up as one of her characters for Comic-Con. I love it so much that reading her stories is like reading a part of me, and I want to give that to somebody else. I want to give that enjoyment to somebody else, and that is why I'm doing it, not to get rich or to be, living off my income as an author, which, again, would be great, but that's not what I'm doing. So keeping my rights and keeping my stories the way that I want them was the most logical thing for me to do. I am not knocking anybody who goes traditionally publishing. I'm not knocking anybody who traditionally publish. That is what is best for them. That's what fits them. And that's the great thing, is we have options to do what we want and how we want to do them. And one way doesn't fit me, but it fits you, and vice versa. And however, it is good to know your options and why you're choosing them. I think that a lot of people think the only way that they can be considered an author is by traditionally publishing, and that's not the case. You know, you can self-publish and do the things that you want to do, or if you want to try to traditionally publish and then get denied and you really think that your story should be out there, self-publish. The downfall of self-publishing, though, is that you take on all of the cost. And I will, once I announce my release date. During the week of my release date, I will be going through all my cost of my first novel and what it entails. There are costs associated with this novel that won't be associated for the next novel because of some of the stuff that I had to buy here. Vellum is one of them, which is a formatting software that I bought for this one, but that cost won't be associated to my next one. Or if I do associate with that one, it will be like a part of it, you know. It'll be a part of it, but not like a big chunk. So we'll, like, if I write 4 books and I use it 4 times, then I would divide it by the 4. And so each time I use it, it gets smaller and smaller associated. When it comes to your cover, you're paying for it. When it comes to editing, you're paying for it. And if you get the right editor and they are good, it can be a very expensive process, it can be a very expensive process. I am lucky that I have found an editor that is excellent, and she is competitive with other people's prices, and she made my experience so good. If you haven't seen my video on my update on my Camp NaNoWriMo from Tuesday, it is right here. You can watch me cry about getting my stuff back from my editor. So click on that one and watch it. But it has been a fantastic experience working with her. So I got very lucky on the editor. As far as my cover design, I got very lucky as well with my cover designer, because she was just starting out, and when I started writing this book, it was in December, and she had a special going on, and instead of paying $300-400 for my book cover, I got lucky and paid way less, and I'll go over that again in my report closer to release time. That is the one downfall of self-publishing. I mean, there's other downfalls, don't get me wrong. It is hard work. It is a headache. You have to do all your marketing. You have to do everything on your own. But I do have to say that so far it's been one of the most satisfying things that I think I've done. I wrote a book on my own. I got an editor on my own. I kept the integrity of the story that I wanted to tell, and with working with my editor, still having it as interesting and as structurally sound as it possibly can. And I am going through my edits right now from my editor, because I just got it back 2 days ago, and so I'm changing the line by line edit, the copy edit, and rereading my story. I am more pleased at it than I remember being. So that is, it's been a fun journey with the self-publishing, and it's not for everybody, for sure not for everybody, but if you ever go down this road, I think you'll get a lot of enjoyment out of it, like I have. I'm also going to be releasing a series of self-publishing videos strictly for self-publishing on my Patreon. If you want to check it out, you can click the link below. I am just setting up my Patreon. So if you're interested, let me know. You can comment down below. You can find me on Patreon. Also on my podcast, Scribble, Scribble, Scribble. It is talking about my journey on publishing this book, so you can also listen to that and get more information on the self-publishing journey. But I think that is everything today. This video, I'm filming this video Thursday morning, so I'm going to edit it right away and get it out today, because I did promise you guys 2 videos this week. We will have 2 videos next week. Tuesday will be an update on Camp NaNoWriMo, and Thursday will be my release date. I am so excited. Can't wait to tell you guys the release date and when pre-orders are coming out. So until the next video, you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.